Hello and welcome viewers to the Plug in India channel. This is I Have the Power, where we showcase real world EV users taking their EVs on road trips, doing everyday activities to bolster some confidence to show you how well EVs can integrate into your life. Let's take a look at a couple of Nexon EV owners. 20 Nexon EV owners in Chennai went on the East Coast Road, a beautiful scenic road with sea on the one side and backwaters on the other, and finally ended up at a resort. We have some really lovely drone shots for you. Do check them out. So here is a drone clip that was sent by Sameer T. Mohammed and the Tamil Nadu Nexon EV Club. This is a famous boating lake, Muttukadu, in Chennai on the East Coast Road. Check out the lovely Tata Nexon EVs. You have the signature teal blue color alternating with the glacier white. It looks lovely, soundless, quiet drive and driving in precision over the bridge and away on the beautiful road. It's really a sight to see, guys. Thank you so much for sharing this video with us. So here is the second drone clip of the entire club. After they have crossed the bridge, now they are on the East Coast Road, where you can see the beauty of the road, greenery all around, and these blue and white vehicles rushing down the road quietly, efficiently, and it's really a sight to see. Finally, the avid EV owners have ended up at a resort, and you can see the top view, the Nexons parked alternatively, both color variants over here, and the owners chit-chatting along and you can see a few boats in the foreground. So it seems that they've come near a fishing village where they can probably enjoy some wonderful cuisine over there. So this is a great ride by the Tamil Nadu Nexon EV Owners Club, and thank you Sameer T. Mohammed and the Tamil Nadu Nexon EV Club for this footage. The link to join the WhatsApp group for this club is given in the description below. So if any of you happen to be in Chennai or anywhere around Tamil Nadu, go ahead, join the club and join the fun. Next on, we have for you Nand Kumar from Bengaluru, who test drove a Jaguar I-Pace. And boy was he thrilled. He says it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 4.5 seconds, and that knocked his socks off. It has a drivable range of around 380 kilometers only. Build quality is flawless. I was not expecting anything less given the segment that this car caters to. There is a default drive mode that has good regen as per the gauge. Sports mode I did not test. It's fully imported and attracts 120% import duties. Backseat space is much lesser. A tall person will find it uncomfortable. It has support for all kinds of surfaces. Good for some off-roading, but not to the extent of a Land Rover capabilities of all terrain. So Nand Kumar was very happy with the Jaguar I-Pace, and guys, I hope you enjoy the picture. So reports in the media tell us that the Jaguar I-Pace showrooms were ready way before the actual launch, and now there are 22 retail outlets in 19 cities, and they've also installed 35 DC fast charge stations. Now the Jaguar I-Pace is directly in competition with the Mercedes-Benz EQC. Both of these cars cost around 1 crore rupees. The high entry price is because it's completely imported and attracts 120% import duty. Despite that, Mercedes has reported that their first batch of cars was completely sold out, and now they have called for a second batch, and now they will soon be opening their bookings. So the rivalry in the luxury electric vehicle segment is only set to increase with the arrival of the Audi e-tron in the coming few months. So all you luxury SUV freaks, you now have electric options. And thank you to Nand Kumar for sharing your Jaguar I-Pace test drive experience. So next off, guys, Parag Mehta from Baroda, a guy after our own heart. He wanted our comments on the Ola electric scooter. He sent us a few photos from the Ola Electric website, and here's what we have to say. So the Ola Electric is a very sleek, trendy, modern design. It's got wraparound headlights. It's got a side stand which goes flush with the body, so you won't be able to notice it. It seems to have good ground clearance, and the mid-drive is well hidden, and the chain or the belt is also going to be given very good protection. Nice indicator lights. You can see the strips for the front end indicators, and I'm sure the rear ones are also hidden with the brake lights and the parking lights. You've got a comfortable handle. The steering bar looks quite high, and the footrest seems to slope downwards in the front. so a tall guy would probably have no problems with this scooter. And the main headlight kind of looks like the eyes of an alien. So it kind of makes you think that it's alive, there's some AI in there, but it's a good quirky look. So now you can see the Ola Hyperchargers, which have very prominent indicators, green showing you they're available, red showing you they're charging a scooter, and probably these are not real photos, these are just renditions, graphics, but they do look pretty amazing and it will brighten up any space where they are put. Now we've got an overhead shot which shows you very clearly that you've got a very comfortable seat, the driver is going to be comfortable, and the pillion, it's a broad seat which is very good for Indian riding conditions. You can also see the landscape mode display. So it's a big dash which will be able to show you all the information on a big screen. So it's really nice to look at. You can see that the footboard is also quite wide, but there is a ridge in the middle. So you'd probably not be able to carry a gas cylinder on it. But then again, with a classy scooter like this, you would probably not want to carry a gas cylinder on it. This one shows us how it's charging. It looks to be like a mini Type 2 charger. So there will be some communication happening between the scooter and the charge point. And then your connected app through the scooter will be able to give you data about it. It looks to be like a kind of a low voltage. So it could be 3.3 kilowatt, something that your domestic meter can handle. You might have to get a separate meter, but it looks to be nice, sleek, very efficient charger. The lights on this one you can see a little bit better. It seems to be wraparound lights on the back to show you parking, brakes, and possibly the turn indicators as well. One more thing about the charger is it seems to have cable management, which is something I really admire. All those cables running around look messy and they might damage the cable. So having cable management is always a good idea. Finally, we have a comment on Twitter. Somebody saw it at the Singasandra testing center a few days back, and we asked them about the sound, and they said it sounds pretty much like the Ather. We can probably attribute this to the mid-drive and the belt drive mechanism that it has. So it's amazing overall. We can't wait to see the actual Ola electric scooter on the roads and test out these hyperchargers and those multi-story parking and charging stations that they've been advertising. So Parag, that's our take on the Ola electric scooter. Do let us know if there was something more you wanted to hear from us. We definitely share your excitement. Now we have One Electric Criden. Our friend Akshay from eThrottle, which is a multi-brand electric scooter dealer in Pune, visited the One Electric showroom and did a test drive on the Criden, and he had the following things to say. It's a very peppy bike, power delivery is on point, some hits and some misses. So here are the hits. It's a very powerful and planted ride at mid speeds. Minimalistic design and clean finish overall. The bike feels sturdy and proportionate and will be comfortable for two people. The misses. He says it should have an LED lamps all over, just like the other electric scooters and bikes. It's a fixed battery, it can't be detached. He says the rear brake should be as it is in traditional bikes, controlled by the right leg. The distance to empty should have been there. He says I lost confidence in braking and the stability after 80 kilometers per hour. Crazy high pricing. So that's what Akshay had to say, and we do agree with him. So unlike most traditional ice bikes, this bike does not have gears, nor does it have a clutch, and hence I suppose they move the brakes to the hands. So which is a bit of a change for most motorcycle riders. So I guess most of us will just have to get used to this new kind of electric mobility, or somebody comes out with an electric bike that has controls just like the traditional bikes. So thanks Akshay for that review. It was point on. So guys, now let's move on to a new section, which is the charging station review. So people are seeing many charging stations popping up around their localities, and especially EV owners love to go there and test out a new charging station, whether they need to or not. However, Akhil might have actually wanted to go there. So Akhil Krishnan from Bengaluru, who is a Hyundai Kona owner, he went to the new Xeon charging station set up at Salem, and this is the video review that he sent us.
Hi, we are at the Xeon charging location in Shankagiri near Salem, Tamil Nadu. This location is about 230 kilometers from Bangalore and 150 to Coimbatore, ideally located on the main highway. That's the highway. This charging location also has a great vegetarian restaurant, lots and lots of parking, very clean restrooms, facilities for kids, some shops, and so on. So a half an hour stop is very quick over here. And I'm charging up my Kona at the 50 kilowatt charging station. All in all, it's a great location, great facility. I would give it a 9.5 out of 10.
So Akhil is really impressed. He has given the station 9.5 points out of 10. Now Akhil, that 0.5, why did you deduct? That's what we'd like to know. We really like the Xeon charging station, neat and clean. Always good locations, you know. You always have something to do, cup of tea, little bit of snacks, on very good locations on the highways between two cities. So I think they've got that formula down. Thanks Akhil, and please keep this up. So guys, let's head up to North India, where we have a new network forming up catering to North India. It's called Static Charging. We have Mr. Akshit Bansal of Delhi, who is the founder of Static. He sent us a video and a few photos. Let's take a look at the charger.
I am at a charging station installed by Static. This is at Food Carnival Khatoli, which is midway between Delhi and Dehradun. It's close to 150 kilometers from Delhi and 130 kilometers from Dehradun and Haridwar. This is a very prime location. As you can see, this has Bikaner Wala, Pizza Hut. There is also KFC drive-through, and this is right on the highway, so you can take a break, and post that you can continue your journey. And as you can see here, there is a 50 kilowatt UL CCS charger as well as a 7.4 kilowatt AC charger installed at this place.
So guys, that's a decent looking charger, nice and clean. They've charging you 13 rupees per hour for AC charging and 17 rupees for DC charging, which is a faster charging. And I think those are pretty decent rates. Only thing is they are charging you only per unit. What happens many times is if you're not charging by time, then people leave the car near the EVSE. They plug it in, the car fully charges and then just waits in the parking lot. So that might block the space for somebody else. There is something that Static might want to look into. So it's very good to see that the Delhi-Dehradun highway is having professional charging networks coming up, EVSEs, that will serve the community. A few years back, Plug in India had done a rally and we had to set up community charge points in colleges and restaurants to do this. It's good to see a proper charging network with CCS2 chargers coming up. So the highways that have already been electrified are from Delhi to Dehradun, from Delhi to Chandigarh, from Delhi to Jaipur, and from Chandigarh to Shimla. So with the Static network, you can already go from Delhi all the way to Shimla. They tell us that they are going to be electrifying these highways in the near future, which is Chandigarh to Dharamsala, Delhi to Agra, and Bangalore to Tirupati. So they are going to head south as well. So we look forward to seeing a lot of Static chargers coming up. Good work guys. Thank you Akshit for sending us these details. So guys, before we go, a few snippets. Here are a few more electric vehicle users. Scooter, Pure EV, ePluto 7G. We've got Vikram Kirtikar from Mumbai, who've driven 2,100 kilometers already. He says he finds it a comfortable ride. The first photo that you can see over here is him with his dad. He says it's very easy for two adults, one hefty person, one normal person sitting on it. He does say that the picture seems to be looking cramped because they are trying to pose for the photo, but while riding they don't have any problems. He did say that the footrest on the right side was a little high, the one given stock with the Pure EV one, so he got it changed. He got another one put where it's a little bit higher and a little bit more ahead, and that makes it really comfortable, a small change which goes a long way. So Vikram, it seems, has been really enjoying the Pure EV ePluto 7G. He says he and his dad actually looks for opportunities to go for a ride, not just because they have to, but because he really enjoys them. So thanks Vikram for sharing your journey with us. Let's hope you have loads more kilometers on your Pure EV ePluto 7G. And finally, another charging point. We've got the Bangalore airport, which Mahindra had originally electrified. Then those points went kaput, but now they're back up. Somebody else has put 16 ampere sockets over there. You've got Mr. Akhil Krishnan from Bengaluru with a Hyundai Kona and Mr. Anand Vedula, who owns a Mahindra E2O. And they were able to charge over there on the 16 ampere sockets. But you need an IEC 60309 plug to plug into charge. The Mahindra positive points ones don't work. So here are the photos. You can see the Hyundai Kona standing over there next to a cabin so that it can charge. The space has been properly marked off so that no other cars will come there and only electric vehicles can come and park there and charge. You can see here the E2O, which is charging on a lock box which is weatherproof, and you can see the orange wire going into the box. The next photo, you can see the IC60309 plug being plugged in, and the Mahindra Positive Point's charging point doesn't work anymore. But if you've got this kind of an adapter, you can certainly charge at Bengaluru airport. So thanks Anand and Akhil for sharing your experience with us. And before we leave you, you've got dark mode coming everywhere. We've got it in EVs too. You've got the Tata Nexon Dark. So here are some photos that were sent to us by the Nexon EV users community WhatsApp group, and they checked out the Tata Motors Dark Mode Nexon EV. It really looks nice. It's a sleek black color, shiny black with those blue accents, and it really comes out. The blue color makes it feel like it's an electric, reflecting off the sky over here in the second picture, and it blends in with natural colors like green and brown for the soil and trees. You can take a look at the front grille over here, where you have that tri-star design in blue and the blue EV badging. It looks really nice. So here is the price chart, where you can see that the lowest variant at 13.9 lakhs, and you've got the highest variant at 16.85 lakhs. So there's a 3 lakh rupee difference. So there's a lot of stuff that is being offered as add-ons and accessories with the Tata Nexon motors, including the dark mode, which are now the latest variants. Take a look at the interiors now, which you've got good quality steering wheel handles, but you still have an analog dashboard, which even the earlier cars like the Mahindra E2O had a digital dash. So this is something that makes it look a little bit old or retro. Nice rear panel where you've got good indicators, good lights and reflectors everywhere. Okay, and we've got Mr. Sudarshan over here posing with the Nexon EV. I think he's thinking of buying it. So that's it guys, you've got Tata Nexon EV dark mode as well. Thanks for sharing this with us and keeping the EV community excited about new things that are happening. And that brings us to the end of this week's I Have the Power. Guys, if you have had a similar experience with your electric vehicles where you felt I have the power, please go ahead and share with us. Our email address is given in the description below, and we'd love to hear from you. What are your comments about these things that are happening in the EV world? Anything more that you'd like us to show you, do write to us and let us know in the comments below. Thank you all, and see you in the next episode of I Have the Power.